Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we're going to be talking about Star Wars Battlefront. Oh no, we're not talking about this game again, although I'd love to get some games played on it with other people if anyone is up for that. No, I'm talking about the original Battlefront. What? No, I meant the original EA Battlefront. There we go. Okay, cool. We got there eventually, didn't we? And speaking of that, gameplay change please. Thanks, future me. But Jesus Christ, what a downgrade this is. Anyway, I thought it'd be a pretty cool idea to go over EA's first attempt at a Battlefront game way back in 2015. 5 years ago. That's crazy. That is insane. 5 years since The Force Awakens came out. 5 years since our hopes and dreams began to be crushed by Disney. Okay, to be honest, I thought The Force Awakens wasn't too bad of a movie. Those other two movies though? Oh yeah, they're going to hell. So let's be honest here. Does anyone even remember much of Battlefront 1? Because when looking back at it now, when going back to this game for the sake of getting gameplay for this video, there isn't really much in terms of positivity that I can say about this game. Not because it's bad or anything, but more the fact that the game is now just there. It makes me respect EA even more for all the changes that they made to make Battlefront 2 as good as it is today. But onto Battlefront 1. At the same time, it shows two things. One, how out of touch EA is with their fanbase, and two, just how lazy they were when it came to making this game. Let's go over a bit of history before delving into why I think this game has become a forgotten artifact in today's times. So the game was released on the 16th of November 2015. I remember going to Game to buy it after me and the family went to the cinema, only for the guy at the till to reject my purchase because I didn't look old enough. Mainly because I'm small as fuck, still to this day, sadly. First of all, fuck that guy. Second of all, I shaved my head at my 16-year-old self for going through all that just to get the game, because on the game's release, was that it? Is this all we got? In classic EA fashion, we were more or less given a £50 game that was actually only worth half of that price. We were more or less just given half a game. It was more or less a generic online first-person shooter with a Star Wars paint, and that was it. Everything that we loved about the original Battlefront games was
gone. Reduced to atoms.
Where was the Clone Wars? Where was the campaign? Where was Galactic Conquest? Where was instant action? Where was the damn single-player content? This game had instantly tainted the Battlefront series upon release. Perhaps not as much as Battlefront 2 when that game was first released, but still, this was unacceptable. This was a cash grab, just another way for EA to get a hold of our money, knowing that we'd instantly buy into that shit. Well, at least that's what we thought at first. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is where the Season Pass comes into play. Basically, this was EA's way of giving us the rest of the game. For even more money, they're about to get paid, motherfuckers! In all fairness though, the DLC we got through the Season Pass definitely helped redeem the game. Every DLC was based around the world in the Star Wars universe, well, at least in terms of the first 3 movies. Like I said before, no Clone Wars. This was Galactic Civil War territory only. So already half of the game isn't being given to us due to the fact that EA are only using half of the content that they could have used at the time. This was before the sequel trilogy began after all. We got new locations including the Outer Rim and Jabba's Palace, Bespin, the Death Star, and of course Scarif from Rogue One, which was cool to see in the game at the time. Along with the worlds, we were also given all new game modes, adding much needed depth into the game, along with heroes/villains from this era of Star Wars, including Greedo, Lando, and Chewbacca. Holy shit, they massacred our boy! Here's the major issue though. As good as this was, what about the players who didn't want to spend more money on all this content? Well, the answer's simple. Fuck you. You're getting half a game, and that's that. It truly made me realise just how shady Season Passes truly are. It seems that though we're beginning to distance ourselves from that concept, so that's a dub, I guess. With all that said though, you'd think this concept alone would be the key factor to this game now rotting in the vortex of forgetfulness to begin with. Well, no, you're on. It all comes down to the sequel, Battlefront 2. Ah, that's much better. Thanks again, future me. Definitely feels like an upgrade. And there's the reason in a nutshell. It may have not been the case when Battlefront 2 first came out, but now in 2020, after all the added content and fixes we've been given, Why would we ever want to go back to the original EA Battlefront when the sequel is far more superior in every possible way? More maps, more heroes and villains, proper customization to classes actually being a thing, more game modes, just more everything, an actual complete game, unlike Battlefront 1, a game that will forever continue to be only half finished to players who didn't buy the damn season pass. And that pretty much sums it all up. Anything that the original has that the sequel doesn't will forever be locked behind a paywall, something you will never want to pay for to begin with now, considering that the game has pretty much been dead since Battlefront 2's release. Seriously, good luck finding anyone playing this. I can say with full confidence that this game was put to rest long ago. That combined with the paywall and just how awesome Battlefront 2 is nowadays is why the original has been long forgotten. So yeah, if there is anyone out there who hadn't had an idea that the original EA Battlefront was a thing, I honestly wouldn't be surprised about that fact, because this game is simply collecting dust on people's shelves these days. Like I said, it wasn't a bad game unless we're reviewing this game based on Darth Vader's voice actor alone, and yeah, the game is terrible.
You will join us or die. It is useless to resist. Your feeble defense is irrelevant. This will cut you down. Distance will not protect. You cannot resist. This is bullcrap!
It wasn't a bad game. It's simply because Battlefront 2 is so good. But for first try by EA, what do I think of it? Well, it's got half-ass effort written all over it, with special attention only being given to those who will fill EA's pockets up with even more money. The game had so much potential, but even with the DLC, I personally feel like the game fell flat on its face. Sure, I can say I've had some pretty good memories of this game, without question, but what does that matter when I've had some amazing memories with this one? We do have to give Battlefront 1 some credit though. Without this game, we wouldn't have been given one of my favourite PS4/Xbox One games of all time. This was a stepping stone for future greatness. Well, I mean, future greatness after the loot box bullshit. Like, seriously, what the hell were they thinking there? Seriously. On a different note, it is kind of crazy looking back on this game in terms of just how quick time has flown. Like I said, this game is now 5 years old. Battlefront 2? That's now 3 years old. 3 years ago, since we had the biggest gaming controversy in recent history. Like, that is absolutely insane. How has it already been 3 years? So with that, I kind of have a bit of a message to give to you guys. That is to always treasure the games which you like the most. Even though Battlefront 1 had its problems and shit, we can't ignore all that. I can say for a fact that I did enjoy playing this game, and I had some incredible moments. But I had some much better moments with Battlefront 2, and I'm going to make sure that I treasure those for years to come, especially when I grow older. There will be a point in time where I do end up dropping games for good, because that's just how life is going to work. It probably won't happen for a very long time, but it is inevitable. So mates, treasure the memories, because everything comes to an end. Just like Battlefront 1 did, just like Battlefront 2 is going to. Hell, just like everything. Everything has its end, it's just the way of life. So, treasure the memories. Keep them close to your heart. Treasure them good. That's all I ask. That's all anyone could ask.